Welcome. I want to welcome everybody to the next event in our Surviving and Thriving Together series. I'm excited to welcome Peter Bakke from at Bakke Cooks, and he's going to show us how to make a Hunkerdown Daiquiri. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you. So that was Josh Mann from the VHL Alliance in Boston. I'm in Seattle. Are we on YouTube? Is that right?
We are on Facebook Live.
So Facebook Live. We got Facebook Live. We got Instagram Live. I probably should have done through Bakke Cooks, but Bakke Cooks is actually like my private cooking account, so I don't post food pictures. But I guess it's now the cat's out of the bag. So this is actually through the VHL Alliance, which stands for von hippel-lindau. It's a genetic disorder that I have. It's a tumor syndrome. People with VHL can get tumors in brain, eyes, kidneys, adrenal glands, pancreas, spinal cord. So it's something that is just one little mutation can change your life. So as a small group of people that are living with VHL, so I'm part of that community. So shout out to the VHL Alliance and everyone who has VHL or has a loved one with VHL. We're going to be making, again, 2 drinks. One is I'll teach the daiquiri. You probably know it, but make a simple daiquiri. And then we're going to do a Hunkerdown Daiquiri, which, again, is really, it's not meant to be a specific drink. We're all kind of in our own houses probably right now. And so whatever you have on hand. So I'll tell about basic cocktail stuff and then tell you how you could riff it depending on what you got in the fridge and in the house. So the daiquiri is a sour. It's a basic sour. There's a few main cocktails. If you go back in like history of cocktails, there's like an old-fashioned type, there's like a martini type, and then there's a sour and a few others. The daiquiri originates in Cuba, and I think it's named after like a mine of some sort. It became popular in the 1940s in the US when I think it was because of World War II. There was rations on vodka and whiskey. And so a lot of the popular drinks couldn't get made, but there was still trade coming up from Latin America with rum. I'm a huge fan of rum, so that's another reason why I chose this drink. And a few people who popularized it was Ernest Hemingway. The Hemingway daiquiri has maraschino, so if you have that, you can make a Hemingway. But the basic ingredients is really simple. It's similar to like a planter's punch, anything that you can throw together in a hot climate. The 3 ingredients are rum. I'll be working with plantation 3 stars. And then lime, a beautiful citrus. So any kind of citrus, any kind of rum. And then I will be working with simple syrup, anything sweet. And you can make simple syrup by boiling 1 part sugar and 1 part water. But if you don't have anything on hand, you can just mix half and half water and sugar, like warm water, and it will probably work fine. The ratios that I like for a sour is 2 ounces liquor, 3/4 ounce of the sour, so the citrus juice, and 3/4 ounce of the simple syrup. Those ratios you can mess with yourself, but that's what I'm going to be using. Again, it's 2 ounces, and then 3/4 ounce and 3/4 ounce. So let me walk you through what I have out here other than the liquor, and then we're going to get it made. So equipment-wise, probably want to have something you can shake in. You probably need a knife to cut citrus. You need a squeeze, but you can use your hands, but this is a really nice citrus press. If you're fancy, you can have a strainer. If you're fancy, you can have this is I think a Japanese jigger. And it has a 1 ounce side and a 2 ounce side with little lines inside. I think that's it. And we got 2 coupe glasses. These are courtesy of Marissa, whose house I'm in and has this lovely equipment. Let's get started. My Instagram setup just plummeted. Let me give me a sec. You can just lean it back up. Sorry, guys. Were there any questions? Simple syrup. Oh, I prefer making it because it's like the simplest thing. As they say, every Southern woman should know how to make simple syrup, but let's expand that to all genders. Let's get started. I'm sorry if you're asking questions on Instagram because I can't really see it. So let's do it. So I'm gonna have my little shaker, put in the ice last just so it doesn't melt too much. Again, this is our rum. We're gonna do 2 ounces. And again, I'm a big rum fan these days. There's just a lot of different types, a lot of different varieties. And it's easy sipping. It goes in, you know, warm weather drinks, makes me feel tropical. And yeah, it's in tiki drinks and all that. So now we're doing lime. Probably gonna need just like 1 lime or less per drink. I'm gonna squeeze it into another container just so I know how to measure it. So we got lime. I'm not much of a streamer, so I apologize for any, you know, silly things I do. I am a teacher though, so but you're allowed to be just like the nerdiest, most uncool person as a teacher. So, yikes. So we got 1/2 lime squeezed. This type of press is great. A little known fact: you put the lime in the other way around. Is not the same shape. You actually put it in upside down. Yeah, so we have beautiful lime juice, and we're going for 3/4 ounce. So I'm using the small side, and there's a little line at 3/4, so I'm not filling it up all the way. If you have a tablespoon, you could do 1.5 tablespoons to get 3/4 ounce, or just eyeball. You know, we're not getting any awards right now. So we got our rum, our lime juice, and now we're doing simple syrup. This is not water. This is a 1-to-1 water and sugar blend. So however you want to get that in there. And now we're ready for the fun part. Fill it like as much ice as you have. This drink's not gonna have any ice in it, but we're getting it as cold as possible. So if you're a chemist, we're getting it to equilibrium with 0 degrees Celsius ice. And all you need to do that is shake for 12 to 15 seconds. So it's gonna be a little loud. Here we go. Oh. Yeah. Okay. You can strain, you don't have to, but there's some like pulp and ice in there. So I have a little cocktail strainer, and that's the beautiful shot right there. If you want to be fancy. These coupe glasses are, I'd say, like a little bit big for a classic cocktail, no shots, but I think like a 5-ounce coupe glass is a beautiful size, but we're good on that. And the last, you always want to have a garnish because this is beautiful. So for this garnish, we're going to put the classic lime full wheel. So to do that, you're going to take a big part of the lime, like right down the middle, and cut it as thin as you can, like so. And then just cut a little slit in it, just like that. Cheers. First drink is a simple daiquiri. Hope y'all got something that you're drinking as well. It's good. The question was, how did I get into cocktail making, and what is your favorite drink to make? So I guess my journey of like food is a gradual one, food and drink. I didn't really cook or do any kind of mixology in college. But I guess just becoming an adult and having to fend for yourself, I slowly started to cook more. And I think along with that was just an interest in, find anything that you're eating and drinking. So just learning more about, what goes in as far as ingredients. I would say that it wasn't until was probably 2016, 17. I started a kind of a brunch podcast with a couple of my friends, Kwame and JR, shout out from Davidson. And we would make a cocktail in the brunch every week. So that's where I really started to learn more. And since then, as a very big nerd, like I just read more, I like follow people on Instagram and just mess around. So my home bar right now is definitely at its largest of all time. So yeah. And then my favorite cocktail is really difficult. I was celebrating an anniversary with Marissa and we made 6 cocktails. Yeah, it's tough. Rum, tiki, blended is cool. I'm not as much into like spirit forward, like a stirred drink. It kind of knock you out a little bit too much, in my opinion. But I'm sure that's next, bitter stuff, and that's probably as you get more mature. But right now, I still like citrus and sweet stuff. So, yeah.
Do you have a favorite ingredient?
I don't. I honestly don't. Rum. I like fresh like syrups. I've been making my own syrups, so that can add a lot. Even if you don't have a large selection of liquor, you can really easily just put sugar and then like ginger, sugar and pineapple, sugar and anything you want, and you get a really nice, fresh, different drink. So that would be my one thing I like.
There's a question here. You mentioned how you like to cook. Do you have any favorite pairings?
Oh, pairings. Marissa, what we've been doing? Yeah, not really. I think often I like to actually have a cocktail before eating, get a little buzz. And I think that food, it sometimes it is hard to pair sometimes. You might, I like to actually just drink more I like a lot of Asian and spicy food. So like something effervescent, whether that's like a champagne cocktail or just like a soda water when I'm eating. So usually like the fancy cocktails, I kind of like to drink before eating.
For somebody who does not make like a beginner cocktail maker, do you have a cocktail that they should try as a way to start out?
Yeah, so the question was, if you're starting out, that's kind of what I was thinking with this. This is the starting drink that I would recommend, the sour. I guess that's a good segue into thinking about like what you can do if you don't have what I just showed you. A sour with that ratio with 2 ounces liquor, 3/4 ounce citrus, and 3/4 ounce simple syrup can apply to any drink. Like you can have a whiskey sour, whereas that same thing with lemon and whiskey, and you can put an egg white in it and it becomes a really delicious whiskey sour. You can do with rum, you can do with vodka if you want. I don't really use that much vodka, but whatever spirit you like, you can turn into a sour. Pisco sours are delicious. So you can that's a really good place to start. It's accessible. It's even more accessible than like a Manhattan martini because it just tastes better. So I think what we're doing right now is a good place to start. Sweet. So this is actually the real Hunkerdown Daiquiri. Again, Hunkerdown Daiquiri is whatever you have in the house, and we're going to follow the ratio. So I will tell you what I have out, and you can kind of think about what you want to put in yours. So we have our rum. This is Plantation 3 Stars. It's really good. It's a clear rum, but it actually tastes like it is aged. I don't know what they did, but anything plantation is delicious. This is called Velvet Falernum. It is a light liqueur, and it has a really interesting flavor. I think it's made with like lime skins, and it's I had never heard of it until honestly this year, but it's really used a lot in tiki drinks, and I love it. And so I'll be using that. Again, this is maraschino. Like, you know, you heard of maraschino cherries. This is maraschino liqueur. And so if you want to make a Hemingway daiquiri, you add a little bit of this and cut out the simple syrup. You got a Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway was a lush, and so he was drinking a lot. Let's see. I'll be using for the second drink. This is Smith and Cross. This is a beautiful Jamaican pot still rum. So kind of on the finer side, and it is also strong. Navy strength is 50+%, 57. It's called Navy strength because it lights gunpowder on fire. The Navy, in order to figure out if they were getting cheapskated on liquor sales, they would want it to be strong enough to light gunpowder. So 57% is the strength that lights gunpowder on fire. A lot of liquors are actually tied to Navy because they keep. So lime to keep off scurvy, liquor because it keeps. And so there's a lot of naval history with liquor. I'm going to be using chartreuse, which again, J.R. Watkins from Davidson fame got me on. It's an incredible liqueur. It was started in 1605 AD, and it's made with a ton of different like flowers and like probably like hundreds of different ingredients. So it's on the pricey side, but it's an amazing liqueur. Or it's, I mean, it's actually liquor strength. We got an egg here. If you want to add an egg white, it's amazing. I know it's scary, but if you separate egg white and you do a dry shake first, so without any ice, first do a little shake, and it has an amazing foam and makes the drink really creamy. We have grenadine. Good grenadine is actually made with pomegranate. So bad grenadine is just like a red syrup, which is fine, but good grenadine is actually pomegranate. We have a Cointreau, which is a triple sec, I believe, or an orange liqueur. So you could use that like in a margarita. It's more boozy, but it can make the drink more complex than just having syrup. And, oh, bitters. So bitters, you can think of them like the spices of cocktails. So there are a ton of different types. This is a really popular one. Angostura is also from the Caribbean. And it's amazing. It adds an amazing little spice to your drink. So that's what I've got. You might have whatever you have on hand. Think about what has alcohol in your house, what has acid in your house, and what has sugar in your house. Throw them together. It'll be good. So I'm going to use this Navy strength rum. We're going to add a little bit more ice. Might as well. And make our next drink. This is my Hunkerdown Daiquiri. I've never made it before. Should be fun. So 2 ounces of Navy strength, that makes for a punch in the face. And then we have lime juice already. So I'm not going to sub anything for lime. I think it's a great citrus. And you could use lemon, you could use shrub, which is like a vinegar. Yeah, anything that has sour notes. So that's 3/4 ounce. And then I'm going to try chartreuse. Probably like half of my 3/4 ounce will be chartreuse. It's got pretty strong flavor. And then the other half will be falernum to give it some tiki type of undertones. Okay, and then just for good measure, some Angostura bitters because I think they're amazing. So just like 1 dash. A dash is like, bloop. It's technically, I think, like a 1/16 of a teaspoon or something like that. And I think we're ready to shake it up. right, so we have our second glass. I'm getting messy. I'm actually a pretty messy chef, so things get crazy sometimes. So this has a darker color because of the rum and the bitters, so it doesn't look like your nice, pristine, simple daiquiri, but it looks amazing. I'm going to garnish in a similar way, but I think a little bit cooler is if you float it. So I'm going to float a lime wheel, and then I'm going to drink. So you can just kind of just place it, and I like how that looks. So here is my Hunkerdown Daiquiri. I hope you have one going as well. Whatever you're drinking, you can call it a Hunkerdown. Cheers. It's a lot more boozy and a lot of different flavors. So not as clean a profile as the original daiquiri, but good. Cool. So thank you so much. I'm gonna stay on Instagram Live just to say what's up. And for those on Facebook, thank you so much. Shout out again to the VHL Alliance and the whole VHL community. Thank you, Josh and Heidi and everybody for being great resources and working for not only to help patients in the moment, but also think about research for VHL for a cure. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter. And remember, everybody can check out Peter on Instagram at Baki Cooks. And remember, there's more Surviving and Thriving Together events. Just check them out at vhl.org/together. Thank you, everybody who joined us live, and I hope everybody stays safe.